Assuming the BYD Sealion 6 is all in all too typical for your loving, and you'd favor a moderate-sized SUV that is somewhat sportier and has an all-electric powertrain as opposed to a module mixture, then the Sealion 7 ought to be on your list of things to get. As the name proposes, there's in excess of a passing family similarity between the new BYD Sealion 7 and the 6. The Sealion 7 pursues a natural direction in the SUV section by offering a more car-like profile, albeit the roofline doesn't plunge however much some others at the back, meaning it remains fairly pragmatic inside. There are more upmarket subtleties to separate it as well, including enormous 20-inch compound wheel choices and flush-fitting entryway handles. For others, it'll be the 390 kilowatts result that produces interest when it shows up in Australia in February 2025. We slipped in the driver's seat of the BYD Sealion 7 in Frankfurt, Germany, offering us the chance to see what this all-new Chinese electric SUV BYD's response to the top-selling Tesla Model Y resembles to drive in suburbanite traffic, on seriously fascinating backroads and, obviously, on a few unlimited autobahns. What amount does the BYD Sealion 7 cost? So far, valuing has just been affirmed for the German market in Europe, where the BYD Sealion 7 beginnings at €47,990 for the single-engine Solus model. At current transformation rates, that likens to simply over 78,000 Australian dollars, while the Reach Best in Greatness AWD variation's German retail cost of €58,990 compares to nearly 96,000 Australian dollars. That is extensively more than the $68,798 Australian cost for the top-spec Seal vehicle, which matches the Sealion 7's exhibition, but in an alternate body style, and the $52,990 cost of the top-spec Sealion 6 Premium Double-Engine AWD PHEV. This large number of costs avoid on-street costs. Be that as it may, BYD Australia might have to hone its pencils, assuming that it intends to sell it close by the generally amazing, and altogether more reasonable, Sealion 6 German marks. 1. How is the BYD Sealion 7 within? Proprietors of other BYD models will find the Sealion 7's lodge natural, with minor infotainment changes further developing the client experience. However, the space most will appreciate. Front and center are sports situates that are electrically movable on all renditions, 8-way for the driver and 6-way for the traveler, and upholstered in counterfeit cowhide on the base and mid-level trims, or Napa calfskin for the top-spec Greatness AWD. They are on the firm side as seats go, yet they make a nice showing of holding you set up, and they're both warmed and ventilated. BYD fits a level-lined multifunction directing wheel that has a four-talked plan and feels more pleasant than what's utilized in a portion of its different vehicles. Outstanding changes incorporate metallic buttons for journey control and media highlights. No fiddly haptic surfaces here. In front of the driver is a 10.25-inch computerized instrument group, which is genuinely standard passage in new vehicles nowadays. A variety head-up show is just accessible on the Greatness AWD, and it's a sufficiently fundamental arrangement, staying with just the fundamental data a driver could require. As with other BYDs, the Sealion 7 gets a sizable 15.6-inch touchscreen infotainment framework, and its party piece is that it can turn through 90 degrees at the dash of a button, providing proprietors with the choice of scene or picture direction. The last option is a piece more pleasant to use for route purposes, yet on the off chance that you anticipate utilizing either Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, both accessible remotely, the screen should be in scene mode. BYD's local infotainment framework has come in for truly necessary improvement. It's more easy to use now and less complex to explore through the different menu areas. Gadgets along the foundation of the screen take it simpler to leap between the more regularly utilized things, and the screen responds rapidly to inputs. It's fueled by a Qualcomm 8155 chipset for better execution, so anticipate no slack. And the computer game quality designs look great. Drivers have some control over specific capabilities, like opening the rear end by tapping on the vehicle on screen, and it shows the boot opening as it does. The equivalent goes for raising or bringing down windows and opening entryways. The mid-control area highlights 2 spots for cell phones, with 150W remote charging cushion and a sum of 4 USB-C ports, 2x60W and 2x18W, so you'll have no good reason for your telephone reaching a dead end. The 6-set drive selector has a gem look, Yet it's not quite as shabby looking as what BMW offers in a portion of its vehicles. That is encircled by a couple of actual buttons for firing up, driving modes, and volume control. It's considerably more agreeable in the back seats, with seat backs that can be physically changed in accordance with give a more loosened up point whenever wanted. A gigantic, all-encompassing glass rooftop washes the lodge in light and adds to the large feel. There is a retractable sunblind for it as well. Liberal measures of headroom and knee room mean two tall grown-ups will be agreeable in the back over even the longest of excursions. While even the center seat, frequently a split the difference, isn't the most exceedingly terrible by Porsche norms. The back seats get a 60-40 split and can overlay down in the event that you really want more boot space, talking about which, the Sealion 7 obliges 520 liters as standard, which incorporates an underfloor region that is valuable for putting away charge links. Would it be a good idea for you want more space? Dropping the back seats helps ability to 1,789 liters. And there's even a 58-liter frunk that is molded in a manner that could convey a little case or end-of-the-week sack. What's under the cap? The BYD Sealion 7 comes in 3 distinct variants, yet all are electric, containing front or all-wheel drive, and the last option is additionally accessible with 2 battery choices. Drivetrain, dual-engine electric, battery 91.3 kilowatt-hours, lithium iron phosphate, LFP, power 390 kilowatts, torque 690 newton meters, driven wheels, all-wheel drive, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour claimed, 4.5 seconds, energy utilization as tested, 18.3 kilowatt-hours 100 kilometers, guaranteed range WLTP 502 kilometers, max AC charge rate 11 kilowatts, max DC charge rate 230 kilowatts. Despite the fact that the E-Stage 3.0 design it is based on is actually fit for obliging the DMI module half-breed framework, BYD has no designs to do as such for the Sealion 7. BYD utilizes its licensed cell-to-body innovation, in which the battery is an underlying part, adding to the vehicle's torsional firmness while likewise assisting with diminishing, generally speaking, thickness, in contrast with different sorts of batteries. Its cutting-edge battery has a vigorous plan that is impervious to the supposed nail infiltration test, which is utilized to reenact harm following an extreme streetcar crash and warm out of control. Besides, the lithium iron phosphate LFP synthesis is liberated from cobalt and nickel, and surprisingly, the starter battery is sans lead. How does the BYD Sealion 7 drive? Right, misguided, you can't resist the urge to see how speedy the BYD Sealion 7 feels. Formally, it requires 4.5 seconds to see 100 kilometers per hour show up on the advanced speedo, yet as a general rule, it feels even speedier. That is mostly down to the raised driving position. Yet the other thing you notice while sending all 390 kilowatts and 690 newton meters of force is the weight.